Hey, I'm Jen with Tested.
And I'm Kate from Tested.
We're here today working on a fun project. This is a miniature version of a sign, a project that Adam and I did 2 years ago. We built some giant letters for the White House for the South by South Lawn Festival. The letters SXSL, which stand for South by South Lawn. I brought all the pieces here, and I wanted to get your help with it because I know that models and miniatures are your thing.
I kind of dabble a little. So what we're going to try and do here is Jen has already made most of these letters. We are going to put them on some bases, add a little landscaping. If landscaping with miniatures is something you're interested in, check out tested.com, and under premium, you can check out model behavior. We've covered this in a few different videos, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm excited to get started. So we have kind of a plan of how we're going to proceed. I think basically each of the letters is made up of a front and a back, and these side panels which were laser cut. So there's basically an acrylic front section, there's a wooden back section, and then they're wired on the inside with a whole bunch of RGB LED neopixels. And then each of the side panels is just a laser cut section engraved with some rabbits in it, and then they're coded based on each of the sections that they're going to go in the letter. So I'm going to get started with that.
I think I'm going to get started making some hedges and some landscaping material so that it mimics the lawn itself.
Awesome. So I'm going to be sanding these tiny laser cut panels. So I've adjusted the table on this sander so that I can sand this at a 45-degree angle and fit it into the corners on this section. This one's a little bit too short, just a teeny bit. I sanded it a little bit too far, but that's what wood filler is for.
So what I've been doing here is taking just regular old beaded styrofoam and making hedges out of it. Luckily, when it's already, a beaded type of foam, like so, you can see all of the great texture that's in there, and honestly, it already kind of looks like a hedge when you look at something like that. So I just took this strip, I rounded the edges, I went through with just a simple X-Acto knife. Yes, I usually like to use something like a rasp or a Surform, but what's great about this is you can just go through with the tip of your blade and sort of pick out the edges, and it makes it pocketed, it adds a great texture, it's super simple, and it gives a great effect.
I finished up all the sanding, and I'm going to fix one wire that came loose. I'm just going to solder a connection here. What I did before I seal these up is all of the neopixels were soldered together. I checked all of my connections, made sure that all the lights were working, and then I covered all of my solder joints with hot glue to make sure that they wouldn't come out of place. So I've sanded all of the edges of each of the laser cut panels so that they can fit together. What I'm going to do now is to assemble this. I'm going to glue each of the corners and inside of these channels so that I can put the whole thing together like a cabinet.
All right, now that I have all of my hedges shaped, I'm now going to put on the base coat of paint, and after they're painted, I'm going to add some flocking to give a little bit more realism to them. All right, I have sprayed both my surfaces, my grass and my base, with Spray 77. It's sort of like a rubber cement where you want to get both sides tacky. Now I'm going to apply them and roll it on, and any of the excess I will just trim off. Now with my first base, I tried to cut the grass to the correct size and then apply it. But that actually made things a bit more complicated trying to align it perfectly as I put the two pieces together. So really the most convenient thing is to have a piece that's much larger, glue the whole thing, apply it, and then cut around it at the edge, and you have a very clean edge that you cut. One of the things that I'm doing on this is there are holes that we need to run wires through. So right now I have the grass applied. I am cutting little score X's on the back side, and then I will flip it over and open the holes up. I made these round hedges and I painted them, and now I'm going to take this small bit of, hedge material, I guess, and wrap it around there so that it looks more like a fluffy little bush. So I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm just going to apply some hot glue to hold it in place. I'm going to start doing these little tiny bushes. Now how I got them were from these just pre-made artificial plants from the store. I'm going to start snipping them, finding the sizes I like, and then they'll be ready to put on.
All of the mini cracks and any places where there's gaps, I've been filling that with just some plain wood filler, unstained, and once it's dry, I'll sand it off, scrape out any of the remaining areas, and then go back over this with a nice fresh coat of black paint. So I've threaded the wiring through the enclosure for the S here, and we've measured based on where the foliage is going to be set along the back. What I'm going to do now is mark out where the support structures are going to be. So the original letters had 2x4 structure along the back to keep them from falling over. So I'm going to replicate that in miniature using these small wood sticks. So I'll be setting those up on the back of the letter and marking where I need to make my cuts.
I have finished attaching the landscaping here. We now have grass with holes for the letters to go through. We have our hedges, our side bushes, and then our little mini bits of plants in front where you can see actually some little tiny red flowers. I think the next step is to finish the structure and get everything wired up, but as far as I go, I think I'm done.
It's been a lot of fun working with you in the shop.
It's been so much fun. I can't wait to see all the letters lit up and how fantastic it's gonna look when it's done.
Thanks so much for your help.
Thanks for having me.
I'm a little bit of a novice with electronics, so Jeremy's here to help me figure out some of the coding, double check all of the wiring that I've done here, and we're about to get that all finished up. Jeremy's gonna fiddle with the code a little bit more, and I'm going to transfer the breadboard over to the perf board.
Proto-board.
Proto-board.
Yeah, Adafruit makes those. They're very handy. They're like solderable breadboards.
It's all wired up. Should we test it?
Yes, absolutely. That's the best part, right? All right, no smoke.
I'm nervous.
No smoke. Okay, well your power lights went on. That's good.
That's
so
a good
now,
sign.
Hit your power button.
Yes, it works.
That's
Awesome.
pretty great. That's pretty great.
Let's see about this. You want
so
to
we have
sequence?
8 different sequences, right? So we have all red, all white, all blue, and then the 4th one rotates through all the colors.
Oh, great.
The 5th one does that.
What?
And then the 6th one does like a rotation with that.
Oh, that's so cool. This is
And then
amazing.
Candy canes,
Whoa.
and then moving candy canes. It's super cool. And it will stay on it until you're done. But here's a neat thing. If you turn it off, hold the sequence button and turn it on, it will go into an auto rotation, so it will change the sequence every 5 seconds.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of like a demo mode
Yeah,
of what it
when
can
you
do.
put them up for sale, that's the mode you'll put them in.
Awesome. This looks so great, Jeremy. Thank you so much for
Oh,
your
my
help.
pleasure. This is a really cool project. I'm glad to help out on it.
So we've got everything wired up. All that's left to do at this point is glue it all up. I'm gonna use a 2-part epoxy, mix that up, and use that to glue down the letters. So after 2 years and a lot of help from Kayte and Jeremy, it's finally finished, the SXSL letters from the White House Festival in miniature version.